Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jimmy McGill. I'm a person in long-term recovery. This is
Chris Dickey.
Chris Dickey. Thanks for tuning in to the Recovery Clinic. If you guys haven't already liked and follow our page, please go do so now. Let's go ahead and share this video so that we can carry a message of hope to as many people as possible.
We're excited to be here.
I'm excited.
I don't know about you.
Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I am excited.
Why? It's September. Is September special?
Yeah, Recovery Month.
Recovery Month.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. And so it's a super exciting week for Chris and I. We actually get to take a man-vade. That's a man vacation where we just buddy up and run off. When's that happening?
We got permission slips from our wives.
Yes. I'm excited about that, man.
Yeah, so there's, what better way to celebrate Recovery Month by going and being around a bunch of people in recovery?
Yeah.
We're going to Recovery Fest.
Yeah, at the McShin Foundation.
At the McShin Foundation.
I'm super excited about that because I get a chance to learn from John. And if you guys aren't familiar with the McShin, they're kind of like the leading recovery community organization in the nation, right? Like they are just pioneers, and so the chance for us to get to go down there and learn, and they've are the reason we've got the Narcan bill, the reason that the states have Good Samaritan laws, like they're big in advocating for people in recovery, and so I want to learn.
Yeah.
And have fun.
And they're willing to teach. So the McShin Foundation, if you have a chance, like Jimmy said, go Google them and learn about what a recovery community organization is.
Yeah.
If you're involved in any kind of nonprofit that would like to do something in the recovery space, our COs are very positive initiatives. So Jimmy, let's take a second and talk about a recovery community organization. What is it?
Okay.
What can it do? How does it benefit the community?
So we actually have one here, and it's Wolf Street. So an RCO is a completely non-clinical, 100% peer-based organization that provides community service, free community service, right, to anybody. And so, there's 8 criteria that you have to meet, one being grassroots, one being your board of directors. There's got to be 51% of people in recovery themselves. That way, the majority of decision makers are people in long-term recovery. It's got to have peer services. It's got to have a participatory process where you include the community, right?
Yeah.
And
so some of the early pitfalls, some of the pitfalls in early recovery, at least for me, was boredom. Yeah. I had a lot of time on my hands. I didn't have, the job yet. There was a couple of hours in between the meetings I was attending and having to go to doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
But I'd sit there and I'd go to Walmart and walk around because I was so bored.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but I had to get up and get out. I didn't trust if I sat still too long. I was afraid this thing would turn on me.
Yeah. See, I didn't have that.
And start lying to me.
I had the exact opposite of that, Chris. Like, I was on fire. I was not bored. I was living my best life in early recovery. All I had was one job, not to use.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We got 2 very different experiences right there. But you didn't get... Did you get clean in did you sober up in a Kim Free house, or did you do it no?
It was in my mom's. Yeah, so it is the difference. That's why. That's part of the reason why I understand what I needed, and I see that I wasn't the only one that needed certain services, needed certain things happening. I didn't have the recovery community organization option. I didn't have the sober living environment. I didn't have treatment.
Yeah.
Couldn't go there. And so I was basically sitting at my mom's house for trying to figure out on my own.
As you build your community.
As I built my community up.
Right. And so what Chris is saying, that's a big difference. That's a gigantic dynamic change, right? Like I found recovery in a recovery residence IOP, right? Which meant I lived there with 52 other people, other newcomers to recovery, and there was a small group of us, right? Like there were It started like 8 or 9 of us, and we were the ones who were really digging 12-step meetings. We were digging into recovery. We were going to functions, campouts. I'll never forget, we would dogpile in Marissa's car. And she was a friend of mine when I used, and she got found. We were in the place together too, getting clean. And so like 8 or 9 of us would dogpile into her car. And we would be riding on each other's laps, riding over to this apartment complex that was close, and we would sneak in and swim. We were sober. We were clean, right? But
Yeah.
we were not getting in trouble. We weren't breaking the law. I mean,
The circus of early recovery. The clown car.
Yeah.
I can understand. I know that.
Yeah.
We used to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So one morning we wanted to see if we could go to 7 meetings in one day.
Yeah.
And so we had this trip planned out. And we got 6 in. One of the ones that we had on the schedule to go see wasn't around anymore. So we were bummed out about that. But we went to 6 in one day.
Yeah. That's
And
good.
let me tell you, after that much coffee,
Yeah.
you get to 5 and 6, it's late at night. You need to go home.
Yeah.
You don't need to be doing that.
Yeah.
That's old behavior at that
Yeah.
point. You're
Yeah.
not in recovery anymore.
Yeah, I feel weird anytime I'm outside after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Like that bothers me. Like I have no business out in public at midnight. Like not me.
You start to kind of
Yeah.
like Gremlins. You know what Gremlins?
What's a gremlin?
The Gremlins movie.
Yeah.
It's
when
the
they-
cute little gremlin. If he
And
gets
then with
water on
water?
it,
Yeah, That's us, gremlins.
After a certain period. So, one more thing with Recovery Month. I'm celebrating coming up on a few years in recovery.
What's that digit?
13.
Woo! Double digits.
But
3.
it's kind of like, since we're in Arkansas, I'll use an animal. I'm like a domesticated pig.
Wait, what?
When you're talking about not going outside, you reminded me of how my analogy. I'm like a domesticated pig. Did you know if you let a pig out of a pen after being domesticated?
Chrissy the piggy.
Check it out. If you let a pig out and it goes into the woods,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't take very long for it to become wild again. It'll start to, bear down, start to get that hair on the back, get them long tusks. And so
That's us.
what we're trying to do is stay domesticated.
Yeah.
Because I get out of the pen for a little bit.
Yeah.
If I stay out of the pen in them woods,
I like that.
I start to just evolve very quickly.
Well, that goes back to.
If I stay away from my fellowship, what happens? Well, I start to
devolve.
get bad ideas. I
Yeah.
start to, exactly.
Yeah. Well, and recovery literature, no matter what your pathway is, there is a ton of recovery literature out there that clearly expresses, because of addiction, I can easily always revert to who I've always been.
Yeah.
A person in recovery is what's not normal,
Yeah.
right? Like for someone that deals with addiction like you and I did, what's unique is the fact that we're not high. What's crazy is that we're waking up, living a productive, normal life without putting a chemical in us.
Thriving. Which is really was a surprise to me after stuff started going good.
Yeah.
Because I kind of joined the recovery community because things didn't spiral upwards. It was the last house on the block.
Literally.
Literally.
Is it literally or literally?
Literally. I mean, you don't want to.
Yeah.
You don't stress the T. But hey, I gotta back up.
Literally.
When we were talking about the clown car, your wife says the clown car. She says I wouldn't let people in my car. I guess I'm not that nice. Maybe Chelsea, you were just practicing social distancing. I know you've got a few years in recovery, but you were kind of ahead of the curve, right?
Yeah.
You're already getting ready. Like,
were-
no, you're not coming in. Where's your COVID test?
Yeah, you were ahead of COVID.
So let's talk about some comments real quick.
Definitely congrats to JD. That's your guy, right?
That's my guy.
That's my guy too.
Yeah, he's a lot of people's guy.
Yeah, everybody
He's
loves JD.
JD's a multi-tool in recovery.
Yeah,
He's got
Selfless. Like you can give him a task. I don't care what it is. Hey, he helped. If you're a peer and you were involved in the peer conference last year, we gave JD a task because nobody else wanted the headache of doing it. He had it done within a day. It was getting our logo designed graphically
cool.
for free.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. He immediately started reaching out to colleges. Who thinks like that in early recovery? I'm going to contact the arts department in the colleges and see if they want to do some pro bono. And that's what he did, and he got us our design.
Yeah, JD is, we're happy to have him at Natural State, and he's providing peer services, meeting people where they're at, and
That's
just
good.
getting them into the river of recovery.
Yeah.
And so congrats, JD, on your big 2 years.
Yeah.
That's incredible,
Yeah, it's
especially
amazing.
for a guy like you. You probably made a lot of people lose money on that bet.
I was one of them. Chelsea and I drove him to treatment 2 years ago. We literally
amazing.
went and picked him up, and we spent the entire day with him. So it took 2 hours to get JD in the car. That's what you need to know.
Yeah, no, he's trying to sell you on a different
Yeah,
plan.
he's trying to convince us that he don't have to go into long-term treatment. He can stay where he's at, and we can do this.
Yeah. That's
Hey,
crazy.
2 years later, he's working for you, taking care of your entire compound, which is a high school, by the way. That's a lot. It's a lot of trust, but he's trustworthy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I love him.
And congrats to Joe Ray Sanders on your big 4
Four.
years.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
I love Joe Ray, too.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
what a great time to get sober. And they didn't know that it was recovery month that they were getting sober in.
No.
But that's really cool.
Yeah.
I used to say I wanted a different a sober date, like so I could say like I got clean on Halloween or something that rhymed that's cute. But the thing that people don't understand is we don't get to pick our date. It's one of those gifts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, I know some people that have picked a day when they couldn't zero in on what the day was that they got clean.
no, that's what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
when the gift happens,
Yeah.
it's unexpected,
Yeah.
and then there's that
Fact.
small
Big
window of
fact.
opportunity to get right, so
Yeah.
you can continue to maintain.
Yeah. Hey, listen, if you guys are watching, please like and follow the page. Go to the Recovery Clinic AR on Facebook. Hit that like button. Share the video. We try to get this message out that people like Chris and I can and do recover. That's the logo
Right here.
right there. in
If
case
you
missed it.
didn't see it, right here.
It's not my. His coffee cup's a little better than mine.
Hello from Oregon, Andrea. My mom is visiting in from Oregon. I guess you had a little break from all those fires. We're praying for you all over there on the West Coast. It's a little nuts right now. Hi, Ashley, another fellow light worker.
Love that.
If you guys have any recovery stories or comments, please hit them throw them in the box, and maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Shout out to Patty Swoop, long-term recovery person, just tuned in. Chris, I can't lie, man. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I'm excited.
If you see us, we're dragging a little bit and kind of maybe beating around the bush a little bit on today's topic.
What is it? The disease?
Well, we're just kind of just freestyling. We had a
did have a guest.
we had a guest, and they had something come up, which we can certainly appreciate. And then Jimmy and I were talking before the show about what can we cover, and I think
Well, let's
I'm going
ask
to be a
that.
little transparent.
Okay, come on. I like
I'm dealing with some stuff right now. I shared last week
Yeah.
about my dad
Yeah.
and suffering from lung cancer.
Yeah.
We got some more news that it's progressed into his
time.
bones and abdomen, and it's a lot worse than we thought. And I'm struggling.
Well,
Thank
thank God you got a program.
I am. Yeah, can't do this alone.
Yeah.
And sharing openly and sharing my feelings about how hard it is kind of what I crave.
Well, yeah, there's no more open than this. We're live with 61 people. Share away.
Well, we haven't been close. We haven't been close
Right.
due to the disease of addiction, and I've kind of put walls up and wouldn't let him in.
Yeah, now as he was still active in his alcoholism, still currently,
Well, not right now, but
because he can't.
right.
That's hard, Chris.
And here's some of the silver linings though, because while it's hard and while I use the term trudging, knee deep in mud and just walking through it and feeling it, facing reality, not running from it, that's right there in itself a gift of recovery.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing. Last week, I went over to where he's at, and my sister's in from Oregon, and she's kind of doing the day-to-day stuff while we get, his affairs in order and into a long-term facility. And she went on a walk, and I got some time alone with him, and I was laying on the hospital bed with him, and I just held his hand.
Yeah.
And started rubbing on his hand, and I could see him kind of relax a little bit, which was cool because he'd been in a lot of pain. And in that moment, I'm like, man, I have had a lot of ill will, a lot of resentment towards this guy.
How'd that make you feel right then?
Right then, it was melting away.
The resentments?
Well, if there were any residual resentments, because I've done a lot of work on myself with this relationship, but I kind of felt those walls that I've built up kind of come down, and just things, that space that I put between us kind of came in, closed, and I'm looking at him and just very super grateful that I get to do this for him.
Yeah. Tragedy has a way of bringing us together.
Yeah.
Even when we're distant and mad like that. It's cool that you got to experience that.
Yeah. So if anybody's facing any kind of loss, no matter what it is, we're here for you.
Yeah, for sure.
The people that are watching and viewing are here for you.
Mm-hmm.
What I've learned and what the difference is I know how to reach out. I don't.
Yeah. You don't have to deal with it alone.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't face anything alone anymore. So
yeah.
Because of recovery.
And there's so, in honor of Recovery Month being September, I mean, it's Recovery Month, it's every day. I know that doesn't make sense.
Right.
But life has a way of blindsiding people. And so if there's anything that we can do, that we can offer, sometimes it's an ear to listen, sometimes it's our voice speaking out, letting you know that the gates of recovery are not this little baby gate. It's a broad highway, as big as you can see. Just join us. Just come on in. The water's warm. If you don't know how to swim, we will teach you.
Yeah.
We've got floaties.
Yeah, we'll hold you up while you kick your feet.
I mean, as I'm continuing to talk about this, I'm just more and more grateful that I don't want to change the way I feel. That's my miracle of recovery today. What's your miracle of recovery today? Put it in here.
Awesome.
I mean, I want to feel it. I want to
there's
walk
growth.
through this.
There's growth in that.
Yeah. Look, I wanted to change how I felt every single second. I didn't like me. I didn't like sitting in my skin.
Yeah.
I thought I was dealt bad cards, and I just, got the bum end of a deal. I didn't know why I couldn't. I didn't know I couldn't relate to you. I didn't know why I couldn't show up for you.
Yeah.
I was just, like my wife said, when I was in active addiction, I sucked the air out of the room.
Yeah.
Sucked the life out of the room.
Yeah. You just gloomy. Everywhere you went, you brought gloom.
Yeah.
I can relate.
Right.
I can relate to that, man. Well, thank God that you haven't put one in you and that you're here being the example. And that's the cool part about what Chris just shared. Somebody will watch this and pull from that strength, and they'll get through their agony watching you power through yours. And the truth of it is that's one of the main ingredients to recovery. We're never alone, never again. We never have to face pain, misery. We don't have to do it alone. Mm-mm. And that's one of the key things recovery taught us. And you guys know that old frame, misery loves company, right? Like when you hear that, it's always associated with something negative. But that's not the key. The fact is, misery does love company, because no matter how bad what I'm going through is, if I have somebody there going through it with me, it's a little more tolerable.
Yeah.
And so what Chris just did was shared his pain with 60 people watching. And so that's 59 other people to help him carry that burden. You know, it's not just yours anymore, it's ours. And now we know to reach out. Now we know to help hold you up.
Yep.
I love you, dude.
I love you too. Thank you for letting me share that with you and you. Because I can kind of start to see the man.
In me?
The human.
Oh, in you.
The human in my dad. Because I made him into this monster. I made him into, you know, that's what resentments do.
He's not.
They turn us.
He's you without recovery,
exactly.
Chris.
Well, now he's getting it.
Yeah. My dad was 66 and he died an active drug user.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm pretty sure he still had a little grunion of dope on his persons when he died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's not his fault.
Yeah.
He died from an untreated disease. And when you talk about addiction, that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with something that leaves us no choice in life, whether it's alcoholism or drug use, it's all addiction. And his addiction is untreated.
Yeah.
Count your blessings that your daughter will never experience that type of fatherhood. It's good stuff.
Sometimes there's dead space, but that was powerful dead space.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't want it,
Yeah.
but sometimes we do.
Yeah, let's check these comments, man.
Sorry to hear about that, Crystal. I can certainly relate to that.
Yeah. You guys say a prayer if you're praying people for Brett Franks' family.
Yeah, definitely.
Brett's
going through some stuff.
Yeah, love Brett.
Thank you, Sherry. Grace is definitely part of the equation, for sure, if not the whole equation. You know, we talk about, I had a mentor of mine share with me one day, and Jimmy, you shared a little bit about what was going on our way up here. When you know, moving on, people sometimes tend to see the world in a different way, and they produce negativity and put it into the world, right?
Yeah.
And we both said our job is to do the exact opposite and put positive ripples into the lake and let them go.
Go ahead and tell them what we was talking about.
Well, one of the things that you know that I have to remember, a friend and a mentor of mine sat me down and he said two things. I'm going to give you two quotes. Write it down. Never cut a string you can untie. Meaning that, you know, the world's a small place. Sometimes things come back, and if I put that negative stuff into the universe, you know, it has a tendency to come back. If I maybe cut someone off and flipped them off in traffic, you know, on a way to a job interview, and then the next thing I know, I'm sitting in front of them, and they're the hiring manager. That's not good. So never cut a string you can untie, and then, you know, certain people are just difficult
to deal with.
I've been a difficult person to deal with.
Me too.
And so someone mentioned that when I forget that, I got to remember this quote. I'm going to share with you. Those who need love the most sometimes deserve it the least.
Yeah, that's powerful.
I love that.
That's powerful.
Because I show up for people who need help.
Yeah.
Just like people showed up for me when I needed help.
Yeah.
In my unlovable creature state of mind.
Love it. I love that. Yeah.
So.
That's good.
Thank you, Tucker.
That's a good quote. Yeah. I saw where Tucker was commenting about that. That's cool.
Ben Brown. Hey. Hey, back.
That's my guy, old Ben. I like Ben.
Yeah.
Man, you know, we were talking about haters is what we were talking about. And I can't speak for Chris, but I get a lot of that. You know what I mean? People love to talk about Jimmy because I'm very public and I'm always doing something, and they see one side of it. They see, I don't know if it comes across as bragging or what, but
if however it comes across,
yeah.
if you don't know the person personally,
yeah.
don't take it personally.
Yeah,
Easier said than done.
Yeah, it sounds good when you say that, but you know, the truth is I can help 100 people in a room and have 99 people in that room love Jimmy one guy disliked me because he has a different perception, stand up and leave. And I will leave the 99
You're going to pull a
and
JD
chase
on
that
him.
one
You're
guy.
going to pull a JD on him.
I want to know what it is I did to you that you don't like
What's
me.
a pull a JD on him? Sell him. You're going to start selling
Sell
him on Jimmy.
Sell him Jimmy.
Hey, always be closing.
Hey.
Jimmy. Well, here's the value. Here's why you got to build value.
Yeah, but you know what? One thing I learned, and I owe a lot of. Chris is one of my go-tos. Like, this is not just a show with me and Chris. Like, I call Chris. I use my sponsor. I use my pastor, which is the best church in all of Arkansas, if you ask me. That church in Sherwood. Come see us.
That one?
Yeah, that one. But I go to Chris, you know what I mean? And so one thing I've learned is you can hate me all you want. You ain't getting no hate back, buddy. Now, I will, from time to time, act out on that. But, the truth is, say what you want to say. I don't care if you don't like me or not. You can keep hating on me and watch God keep blessing Jimmy. Ooh, boy, that fire.
I don't even want to give you knuckles on that one.
Wow.
No, it's good.
I learned that from you, too.
It's good. So there's an old, I think it's an Arabic proverb.
Let me hear it. Can you say it in Arabic?
No, I cannot say it in Arabic, but it's the dogs may bark, but the caravan rolls on.
Yeah.
You know, we have a tradition.
Means they ain't stopping nothing.
The fellowship has a tradition, or actually, one of the 12-step programs is to not engage in any controversy.
Yeah, I like that.
And so I can take that personally
Yeah.
in my personal life, and just because someone has a certain perception doesn't mean I have to engage in it.
Right.
And,
Right. Right. It's true.
And besides, I'm way too busy.
To worry about your opinion.
Well, you know what I mean?
You still do, don't you? I mean, keep it real. Like, if somebody...
Yes.
Yeah,
Of course.
We all do.
Right.
Like, especially if it's undeserving, right? Like,
Especially if it's untrue.
yes. Like, what did I do to Ricky?
Yeah. Hey, can we get, let's do something real quick.
Let's do it.
I want to say, I want people to see Ricky. Ricky's not in recovery, but he's an advocate in recovery.
Yeah.
And come here, Ricky. Here, stand right here.
Come on, Ricky!
This is Ricky Williams. You might have to get down a little
Former Razorback.
bit. Former Razorback, but a friend in recovery.
Yeah.
And so we're grateful for his support. He's a good dude.
We love Ricky.
And so we just wanted to give you a shout out. We know you didn't ask for it, but,
Yeah.
but Ricky's cut from a good cloth.
Well, this is good because I can show my son, because my son wants Ricky to teach him how to play football. And so that's a good thing, right?
He may know a few things.
You think?
I can help out.
You
I can help.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ricky, for coming on. Ricky Williams is great. And so he's part of why we get to be here in the studio
Absolutely.
during a global pandemic and bring the hope of recovery to you. And so we're grateful for his support.
Yeah. Yeah, Ricky's awesome.
Chelsea's getting with it today.
Yeah, she's on here. And let me see
My mom
what's
says
going
she
on.
can't wait to meet you, Jimmy.
Is that your mom?
Andrea Singleton.
Well, hi, Mom. Thank you for making me such a good friend.
My mom is coming here,
When?
moving next year.
I do know that.
Yeah.
You did tell me that when we went and looked at. Yeah. Okay.
So we're excited for that.
Yeah.
She's got to be. I mean, it's not because her son lives in Arkansas. She's coming to move close. It's because her granddaughter
Yeah.
lives in Arkansas. Let's
Dude,
not get
yeah.
it twisted.
I can't. Hey, listen. That's got to be great. Like,
I love it.
To get to the love, all the love of the kids. All right. Because as a parent, let me just tell you, my children don't express love to me the way I feel like they should.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
I want them to be loving to me, appreciative, put me up on this pedestal for all the great fatherly things I do, and that is just not reality. I get, Dad, I want more of this. That's not what you said. Never mind the Xbox and none of that. I just don't get it. But grandparents, they get all that love.
They get it.
They get it. They get it, and then they get to send them home to you for all the other stuff.
She's known as Babcia. It's grandmother in Polish.
Oh, that's
So,
fancy.
Yeah,
Is she
it
Polish?
She is.
Okay.
Definitely.
So you're Polish.
A little bit. I've got a little Polak.
I thought you were native.
A 16th. Just a small bit. I'm one of those Heinz 57s.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a mutt making it in the real world.
Me too. I'm an Irish mutt. All right. Well, man, it's been a pretty good show. Chris, I appreciate you for getting vulnerable and transparent.
Thanks for being here for me.
Thanks for letting me.
Sometimes, givers and helpers forget to take care of themselves, and I'm definitely guilty of that. But I wanted to make a point to just share that with all of you today. I'm struggling, but I'm okay, and I'm okay because I know my purpose and my place.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, what do we have for next week's show? Dr. Rick Smith?
Dr. Rick Smith, coming straight from the PRI Institute that is housed in UAMS.
Yeah,
He's got some great programs that deal with treating opioid use disorder and addiction. We're excited to get to know him and learn how he is helping people find recovery.
Yeah. And hey, guys, listen, if you're watching, if you're viewing, what you want to hear, your needs, your desires, they're important to me and Chris. They're important to our whole team at the Recovery Clinic. Send us your ideas. If there's a specific issue you want us to talk about, let us know. Send us an inbox on Facebook at the Recovery Clinic. If there's a certain area that you want us to dive deeper into, we want to hear what you need. So send that to us. We're not just going to get it and disregard it, right? Like, if it can be done, then we'll look at ways to bring you what you need.
Yeah, we'll cover any topic. If you want to know how I get this hair like it is, I mean, we can do that. Or if you want to know how Jimmy gets them, those lines on that beard.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah, I do got some
He's got
lines.
some secrets.
I do. My wife takes good care of me.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. We look forward to celebrating more Recovery Month next week with you, Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Yep.
Please join us. Like and share our page.
Yeah, and if you want to follow your host, you can do so at Chris Dickey Recovers Out Loud and Jimmy McGill Live on Facebook. We both have our own advocacy pages where we share bits and pieces of our personal life and our journey in recovery. And we do this every Wednesday at 11. We love you guys, and we'll see you next week.